All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Tight and Muscle and Mine. And today I am with Stephen Bodie, clearance diver for the Navy.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us, Steve.
Thanks, mate.
Mate, Steve, take us back to the start. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you get involved in the Navy and become a clearance diver?
So I'm 28 years old. I'm from Yamba, New South Wales, just a little town up towards Byron Bay.
Yeah.
I was 16 years old, and my granddad came up with this idea to put me in Navy cadets. Just thought it'd be good for a bit of discipline and, you know, how to conduct yourself properly. So I joined the cadets, loved it, and then coming out of school, I had to decide, you know, the choice like everyone makes of what do you want to be. And for me, it was clear. I wanted to be. That's right. I wanted to be in the Navy. So that was it. 9 months.
Are you watching the Cavs versus Celtics? Just quickly, guys. That's from my daughter. I don't normally do that, but my phone's gone. Keep going. Sorry.
No, that's fine, mate. Yeah, so 9 months. Called up, enrolled.
16 and 1 months.
Yeah, got accepted, and then 2 weeks after my 17th birthday, I was in recruit training down in Melbourne at Cerberus.
So that's a young age, right?
Yeah.
You need a lot of discipline to just live and like think about it, right?
Yeah.
Were you like an athlete that had this? Because you got to have an amazing amount of fitness, but you got to have a mindset because the failure rate or the attrition rate is massive.
Yeah.
What was your fitness like for you to go? Okay, I'm going for this.
Well, when I enrolled to become a clearance diver, I'd been surfing pretty much my whole life. I've been playing soccer, AFL, rugby, pretty much any ball sports you do as a young bloke. So it was naturally like just athletics at school, cross country, everything you do as a young lad. So I was generally fit already just through school. And I hired a personal trainer at one point, probably about 18 months out before I got in to be a clearance diver for the test. And I told him what I wanted to be. I said, I want to be a clearance diver in the Navy. These dudes are the elite. Like they're, you know, from everything I saw in all the videos I watched, I was like, these guys are crazy. They're dealing with bombs underwater and explosives and tactical operations. I was like, I want to be one of these guys. Like in my mind, it was a Navy SEAL. I just wanted to be this action man.
Yeah.
I said, I need to get fit. I need to get strong. I was just a skinny little surfer back then. I was fit, but no strength whatsoever. So this guy helped me, and over the 18-month period, put some serious muscle on through training, and then I went down to here in Sydney, actually, to HMAS Penguin to do the selection test.
When you go to the Navy, right? Do they tell you that 85% aren't going to make it?
No,
They don't say that.
no.
But
They tell you it's hard. They tell you it's extremely hard, and to have a backup plan because so many people don't make it.
Yeah.
And it's not everybody's kettle of fish. No one.
Yeah.
It's.
What's going through your mind at that point when they say have a backup plan?
You start to question how bad do you want it? How bad can it be? How hard is it going to be? You question everything.
Yeah.
The pain you're going to go through, can you withstand it? Have you trained enough? Have you put in everything you can do to prepare for what's coming mentally and physically as well? Your support network around you, have you got the right support to do whatever you're about to undertake? You've got to ask yourself everything, literally everything.
It's a lot like business because you can be as prepared as you want, but once you get into it, there's so many different elements.
Yeah.
There's so many different obstacles. There's so many different challenges. Sometimes it becomes lonely. You become isolated. You start questioning yourself.
Yeah.
I'd imagine it would be the same with the training to get in.
Yeah, 100%.
Tell me what happens in there at that point.
So, the initial part of becoming a clearance diver is the clearance diver selection test. It goes for 10 days. It's still to this day the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life, physically and mentally. I've never been so tired, so deprived of food, water, and just so mentally and physically just strained. It's insane. It's extreme, and that's what it's for. It's made to either make or break you. And in situations like that, where, like you said, you're out on your own, There are components of the test that test you as a leader, then as a like in teamwork, or how you work in a team with others and how you collaborate, with your fellow persons. But then there's also an individual phase to it where you're put to the test on your own for your ability to think in situations that you can't prepare for. You don't know, it's something you've never been exposed to before. So they test that psychological path of everyone that's on the selection of how you cope under pressure when you're on your own.
Yeah.
Can you deal with certain situations? Can you think through problems and solve them? There's so many things that they put you through.
Tell me about a psychological test that they put you through that you thought like, was there a point where you thought, I can't do this? Or did you always have in your mind, I'm going to get through this no matter what they throw at me? Was there any points where it was like, oh, fuck, this is hard?
Yeah, definitely. For me personally, it was probably day 5 or day 6 of selection. Sleep was minimal, we barely slept the whole time. And we were in a park up towards Avalon doing this PT session, this smash session.
Yeah.
Everybody's already flogged by that point. We're doing this absolute smash session, and I was putting in so much that I actually passed out doing military press with a barbell in the park, face first in the grass, and then came up, started vomiting, and got taken over to the medics, to the little ambulance just to get checked out. I was sitting in the back of the ambulance, and I was fucked. I thought that was it. I thought I was off. I thought I was done. I'd stopped doing the activity, and I thought that was it. That's all I had. I couldn't go any further. You just caused yourself to pass out and throw up everywhere. Surely there's some sort of dangerous health thing going on. But as I sat in the back, the medic checked me over. He was like, mate, you're hot, you're dehydrated, have some fluids, here you go, blah, blah, blah. And then the instructor that was running that exercise, the trainer, came over and he just looked at me. And then he looked at the medic first and said, is he okay? And the medic was like, yeah, he'll live. That's all he said, yeah, he'll live. And then he looked at me and he was like, hey, you good? And I just went, I'm good. And he goes, well, what are you doing in the back of the ambulance? Get over back in the park.
Yeah.
So I had to drop the drink and everything I had, and I had to run back over to the park and start back where I left off, where I'd passed out on the barbell. So,
how long was that duration? Like, how long did they put you through that barbell?
Oh, I think that one went for just over 2.5 hours, nearly 3 hours.
2.5 hours?
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, at that point, how many people passed that?
So by that day, we'd started my selection with 32 guys. It was 32.
Yeah.
By day 5, we were down to, pretty sure we were down to 12. We lost over half.
By day 2?
By day 5.
Day 5, wow.
By day 5, we lost over half already.
And how long does that whole period go for?
10 days.
10 days.
Yeah. We'd lost nearly 8 or 10 in the first 12 hours.
First 12 hours.
Yeah, they were gone. We run a part of the test at the start called the gate-to-gate traditional run.
Yeah.
And it goes for roughly 4 and a bit hours.
Yeah.
And it's insane. It's made to test you on your physical and mental, how bad you want it.
Yeah.
Like, know that it'll end at some point and keep pushing, but physically, it just eliminates straight away guys with niggling injuries, guys that haven't prepared, and then guys that just don't want it. They just thought it was going to be a lot easier than what they realised.
Yeah. Tell me the gate-to-gate. What is that?
So the gate-to-gate run, it's like I said, it's like about a 4-hour run. It starts on the base of Penguin.
Yeah.
Doing certain runs like sprints intervals up and down this massive hill. And the whole way, it's pretty much a lap, like a cardio-based circuit that runs up through the lower part of Balmoral and Mossman, over towards Chinaman's Beach, up to the park, top of the hill. And on the way, it's just, push-ups, burpees, different physical exercises, and just sprinting, just again and again, hill repeats again and again, and just a lot of different things. And it's just, at the same time you're doing that, just with the number on your chest, and you've got qualified clearance divers and instructors. just barking at you. It's
Right.
very intimidating.
Yeah.
And that's what gets you mentally. If you're not prepared, not ready, with a bit of toughness,
Yeah.
it'll bring you unstuck. Yeah, you won't like it.
Tell me some of the things the clearance divers there that are putting you through it say to you guys.
Oh, it's. For example, I remember one point in the run, I had 3 blokes on me, just on me. There was one in front of me. He was actually jogging backwards. This was on the second lap, 2.5, 3 hours in. He was jogging backwards. You're just so buggered. You're putting in everything you got, but you're not sprinting anymore. You're not moving fast. He is jogging backwards, just screaming, up with me, more effort. Call me forward. The guy to the left, he was just sort of like the good cop.
Yeah.
He was like, mate, you don't need this. You don't need it, mate. He's like, you can just hand your vest in. He's like, give it up, man. You go back to doing what you were doing. Back to civilian life. Like for me personally, back to civilian life. Nice cushy job. Earn a bit of money. Go have a shower. You don't need this stress.
Yeah.
Then in the righty was the bad cop, and it was just barking. You're weak and and just carrying on like just making you doubt yourself on the negative side of the house. Yeah, it was intense.
So
and you're just copying it like in all directions. Yeah.
So physically you're gone, and they're trying to get you mentally.
Yeah, they're trying to get you to quit mentally. Yeah.
Tell me, towards the end, right? Like I've seen these videos with these Navy SEALs like getting one of that, but they put you in these dark rooms. Did they ever do any stuff like that? Where they put you
No, not so much a dark room. There's certain things on there you do where you're in the water. You're in the water in the dark. Call that a dark room if you want.
That's hard itself.
Pitch black at 1 a.m. You're doing a dive, or you're doing a swim in the water, for example, through the harbour.
Yeah. Through the harbour.
Yeah, through Sydney Harbour. It's she's black. That's probably the only dark sort of places where you'd really test yourself.
How long is that the duration of that part there in the water, in the dark, cold?
One of the dark fins. The longest one was, I think I remember, we got in the water around 6:37 at night. Got back at around 3 a.m. So around 80 hours in the water.
The biggest thing that I look at when I look at a clearance diver or someone in the Navy SEALs is they have to have a massive amount of discipline. But they've also got to fight against all the noise in their head that's telling them that this is going to be tough. For you, what did you take out of you being a clearance diver? What have you taken out of it in life and what it's all about, and how have you applied it?
It's definitely taught me, not only discipline, but a lot of mental toughness. In situations where there's just what looks like an unachievable task, whether it's moving a 500-pound bomb, kilometres up the beach, or it's just something, and you've got nothing, no tools, like just some task that somebody would look at and go, that's impossible. You've got to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So, not just on your own, you've got a team around you, and you just collaborate with each other as you've all been through the same testing, so you're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
And teamwork is just definitely something that's massive in the clearance diving branch. It's something like I've never seen before. Everybody becomes brothers, and you just can accomplish anything when you put your heads together.
And like in business, it's about having one another's back, because if you trust the guy next to you, you're going to perform better. Yeah. And then obviously if something happens in battle, you're there for one another.
Yeah.
Is obviously that's a core principle of the Australian Service Forces and Navy. Was that something that was inbuilt in there? Did you know about that it was going to be like that, or was that something that's inbuilt within?
I didn't think it was going to be as strong. I knew that there was a lot of camaraderie and teamwork involved in that, but I didn't realise how strong it was. Especially in what we do as divers. I mean, when you're on a dive site, and for example, if you were doing mine countermeasures, say like a bomb disposal underwater, and you get down on your own, you're down there on your own for a reason, and you stuff up, something happens to you underwater with explosives, or say threat of a shark attack or whatever it may be, you're relying on the guy that's up in the dive boat, and he's in a dive set too. He's the standby diver, as we call it, to come down and save your life. Like, you're putting your life in another bloke's hands. The same thing when you dive in a team or in a force. You're expecting, if something happens to your breathing apparatus, something goes wrong, you're expecting the bloke next to you, if you pass out underwater, you're expecting him to pick it straight away that something's not right. Like, you just learn each other's body language underwater. If something's not right, you're expecting him to conduct the right emergency procedure and save your life.
You know what's funny, as you're talking, everything you're saying is about business. I don't know if you realise that.
No, probably not.
Like, I'm telling you now, everything you say, it's like you're saying that you've got to understand what that guy's going through down there, the guy that's up above. In business, it's exactly the same. Like in good businesses, where everyone's different, right? Every operation's different. Every time there's an operation, you've got to understand the things that can go wrong. But you've got to understand the guy on the other side, you've got to have each other's backs. The same core principles exist in business. Not everyone adheres to those principles, and that's where businesses go wrong. The way I look at the Navy and what you were just telling me now is like, mate, it's like a culture.
Yeah.
It's this amazing culture that, and I guess the beauty about the Navy is people want to, like, that are there serve for a long time once they get in. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely. I know a lot of the best mentors and stuff I've learned from have been petty officers and chief petty officers that have been in for 20 to 30 years. They've been clearance divers their entire working lives, and they've got so much vast knowledge over whether it's operational experience or just exercises overseas, different diving operations. They've just got so much vast knowledge on how to solve a problem that no one's ever dealt with before, whether it's a helicopter recovery or there's just something that's just so far out. It's one thing in the diving world is that I've never been on one dive that's ever been the same. Every single dive's different. Something can go wrong every time. That's different. You're in different water current, different visibility, different water temperature. Everything is different. So you prepare for every single little thing that can go wrong every time.
Is that culture within the Navy? Is that what keeps the people there for so long? Is it the camaraderie that they love?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Camaraderie is, and it's the one thing I'll personally miss when I leave. Is the camaraderie in the clearance diving branches, the brotherhood that you have. You form relationships with these guys. I'm closer with a lot of the guys that I went through my selection course with than my pretty much entire career. The guys that I've surfed on the side with, I'm closer with them that I have been the guys I grew up with and I've known for 20 years.
Yeah,
I've got more of a relationship with them. I've been best mans at their weddings, groom's parties, and know their kids, and they become not just your work colleagues but some of your best mates.
Yeah. And do you think, because at the height, the level of the Navy, people's lives are at risk, right? Because you're going out there, you're putting your best foot forward, you're coming up against so many challenges, and you could lose your life, right? Like, that's the reality of it, right? Do you think it's because of that, where it's either life or death, that it brings that camaraderie to another level?
Yeah, look, definitely. I think on a professional level, everybody is expected to do their job and know their job thoroughly. And then where the camaraderie forms is that if you know your job and you know how to do it and you're professional in your manner and you're very confident, other people can place their trust and support in you very easily because they can see that you're swept up in your job and you know your stuff. You're not joking around. So they know if there is a life-death situation, that could be anything, not just clearance diving. It could be just a fire on a ship, an engine fire or something that's really bad and has killed people in the past.
Yeah.
If you know somebody, regardless of profession in the services, Army, Navy, Air Force, they're all over their stuff, you can trust that person because you know that they've done their best to check the equipment, check procedures, do maintenance, do their job that they're employed to do, and then that just forms an easy relationship that you can place your trust and camaraderie in another bloke that's that's got your back.
Mate, it's funny, I've spoken to you a million times, I haven't asked you these questions. I'm telling you. But everything you're saying, like I'm actually learning from, because it relates everything to business. Like everything you're saying relates to business. And you know, when I look at you now, you've come across Titan Fitness and you're doing boot camps. That's such a massive advantage for you to have. You know, how do you think it's going to help you with your next part of your career?
I think it'll help me massively. It gave me, the Navy's given me the confidence, not only in public speaking, but, you know, leadership qualities. I'd like to progress into a leadership role because I've spent so long, you know, doing my job and learning that, you know, I'm confident now to manage a team. I'm confident to get problems as an individual, try and solve them if I can't put them to a team. You know, I'm confident to go through the process of all that sort of stuff, even though I haven't been directly involved in a business as such. Like the government obviously is a big business, but I've seen behind the scenes of how a team works, how it can operate, problems that arise, how you solve problems, whether it's through the chain of command, through you know your higher managers, CEOs, etc.
Yeah.
And then I've seen what doesn't work, which is probably the most beneficial.
Yeah.
Not just what works.
Can you tell me something that doesn't work in the Navy? Like, tell me where it can go wrong.
What can go wrong is, probably in terms of personnel, is wrong guy in the wrong spot.
Okay. Yeah.
Somebody's employed and been put in a position that, one, they may not have the expertise on or haven't really done a lot in that environment themselves. And then you've got a younger junior sailor that is expected to, you know, because of military rank, you respect the guy and his rank. But in terms of his skill set, he may not have been exposed to certain things that you've been exposed to. You may have done more in a certain area as a younger sailor in your career than a senior sailor has done in that area. He's got more broad knowledge over a lot of general things, but you might be specialised in something that you've just gone hell for leather for and gone all in depth, and you know so much about it, but there's just a really big breakdown in communication between, you know, respecting military rank and then allowing junior sailors like myself to speak up with how we should change things to better the future. And the big guys are getting paid to change policies and change programs, etc. But a lot of the young guys just think so much, you know, like Gen Y. I ask questions, why Gen Y? We just ask so many questions. And I've seen so many times where there's been a number of guys in a group going, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this way? We could do it this way and be so much more efficient, save so much time and probably money. But it goes on deaf ears. That's for me, that was the biggest problem I had. Just falling on deaf ears.
And I think sometimes when something's set so much in stone, and the Navy's been around for so long, and it really takes a real good commander-in-chief at that point to be able to go, I'm continually learning, and I've got to learn from the people below me, and I've got to learn from these young kids because they're on the ground now. I haven't been on the ground for a while. I've got to go to them now and find out what's the best possible way and see if I can come up with a better method. And I think that sometimes it takes the bigger man.
Definitely does. I've had one guy in particular, we were down doing some diving in Jervis Bay, doing development training. And at his level, you know, every other unit that I'd sort of team I'd been in before that, a guy at his level hadn't really gotten in the water with the boys and showed him skills, etc. But this one particular person got in the water with every single one of the boys and showed him how to use this one piece of equipment, this sonar thing, properly. And it just, for me, made the world of difference in using that piece of equipment because I was now showed professionally how, and hear from his opinion over 25 plus years of how to use it and how he'd done it in the past versus reading out of a textbook, you know, and learning from a guy that didn't have as much knowledge. So it just took the guy at the above level with all that experience to just come down, you know, so many notches, excuse me, and just teach the young blokes how to do it. And he gained so much respect from a lot of us that were there because of that reason.
Don't you think it brings the commander-in-chief and the guys down below closer together?
100%. Yeah.
Because
the team works better.
Teamwork, yeah. Wow. You know, you're teaching me a lot of lessons. Like yesterday I sat down with you one-on-one and you gave me nothing.
I took it all.
Now I'm getting the real stuff. Now I'm getting the gold.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking off camera and we've been talking about it for a while. you know, you love surfing, you love skydiving. What was the other one that you like?
And tennis.
And tennis.
Yeah.
and so, you know, we were talking, and you said to me, Mads, this is what I want to do. And I was like, fuck, Steve, you're going in so many directions. Then I thought about it, and I go, fuck, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. And that's how I work. I work like people will tell me their ideas, and I go, okay, how's that going to work? And I said to you, you should become the adventurer coach or the adventurer personal trainer.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, and you said, I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I said, Steve, just do one thing really good. The rest will come.
Yeah.
And from what you're telling me now in this interview, you're going to get it easy, man. Do you realise that?
I hope so. Yeah.
Don't hope so. It's just going to be from everything that you're doing. It's going to come at the right time. It's just going to come at the right time. You when you belong to the right environment and you're around the right people,
Yeah.
things happen, and you don't know how they happen, but because you're so passionate about that, and to me, it seems that that's what your end goal has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be that,
Yeah.
right? Because when you talk about that to me, I can see that makes you happy.
Yeah.
You know, and I can see it. I can't tell you when I'm going to see it, but what I am going to see is I'm seeing this progressive young lad like yourself, who's had the world of experience, that is getting more experience now in the real world, and you're going to be applying it, and people are going to see something different they've never seen before.
Yeah. 100%. And you know, I've done so much self-development over the past, probably taken it really seriously in the past 5 years. So much listening to, you know, Eric Thomas and just, you know, Tony Robbins, just so many guys. Like, I've punished audiobooks, read books, listened to motivational videos, you know, so many things. And it's just, as I started to grow, I guess physically, you know, I was competing in bodybuilding, and that developed my discipline further. You know, eating strict, training strict, you know, doing that. That was amazing. I loved it, and I want to continue to bodybuild if I can. But mentally, where I really started to grow was when I started to question everything. Started to do my own research on how to develop yourself mentally, and then just thinking outside the box. How do I become different? How am I different? And you know, we've had our one-on-ones. You know, and so many friends comment, like just on the video I made the other day. You know, dude, you're so weird but different. Like you're this bodybuilder, but you know, you skydive, surf, play tennis, and do all these crazy sports. Like which a lot of other guys that bodybuild, you know, don't. I don't know anyone that does that stuff. Like they just sleep, eat, train, repeat. Like this is all they do and they live. And you know, maybe they're professionals. You know, or they beat me in competitions, and you know that's fine. But like, I love being able to do, you know, and I commented in my post, king of all trades, jack of none. Just the complete opposite of what everybody says, because you know it's very true. When if you just punish one thing for so long, you'll be successful. And you work so hard on one thing, but like you just said before, if I can encompass everything I love doing, you know, my particular sports and things that make me so happy, and combine that, then that's my one thing.
That is the one thing.
That's
what I was going to say. Like, it's actually the one thing. And what I think for you, where you had trouble, was like, I like all these things, but how can I combine it to one? Now that you're looking at it as one, it seems like it's easier. And do you think like you're getting more clarity since you've been here?
Definitely.
Through that?
Definitely.
Through that process?
Yeah, definitely. And the one-on-ones, like I've never had. It's something I wish that I had in the military, because I could see myself being higher in rank, having more skills. You know, who knows what I could have done or achieved even outside my military life. Like I could have gone to university during the same time. Like I would have had more ambition potentially mentally to grow. But having a one-on-one with someone that is just sitting back and looking at your entire life, that's not involved in your life directly, but can just see everything, hear what you're saying and where you want to go and how you want to do it, and then just thinking about it, and can give you some direction that maybe you don't see, you don't think about. It helps massively.
100%. Like even in business, even what we do here, I look at who's at a higher rank that looks at things differently in different areas, and I go to them. because I don't know everything, and I'm never going to know everything, because if I'm the student of life, and I'm this person that's looking at never ending and continuous improvement, I've got to continue to look for those people that are going to help guide me in certain areas, so that way I can reach bigger goals of impacting people. Your goal's no different than mine. It's no different. It's just that what you have is absolutely unique. And I think once you take each step, because you've got to take each step, you're just going to get there and you're going to see the clarity. And I remember when we done the one-on-ones this week, I could see more clarity in you straight away after it. And it was like, okay, I'm comfortable again. And then next week when we do it again, I'm comfortable again, and you're right.
Yeah.
But in the Navy, in any business, you need that. You need that one-on-one. You need that other perspective. I might not even have the perspective, but you might tell me a problem, right? And I might go and I'll think about it, right? And someone else will say something, that's what Steve needs.
Yeah.
That's what he needs.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of working in teams and cultures, where you just want the best for the other person to perform at their best. Because if that person's progressing, you're progressing, and everyone else around that team's progressing.
Yeah. Well, I originally got specific and got the idea when I think we'd spoken probably about 2 months ago. And, you told me about Gary Vee, how he talks about, don't worry about your weaknesses, just focus on your strengths and go hard. And I thought, you know what, I've been bodybuilding for 7 years. I've done 24 shows. I'm a master trainer, got qualified as training student fitness, and I've been around, military fitness leader, and been in the fitness industry for 10 years.
Yeah.
The first trainer that I ever talked about at the start of the podcast, he was a bodybuilder, but I didn't know it.
Yeah.
He's now one of my closest mates, Trav.
Wow.
And he trained me in a bodybuilding style to put that weight on me to become a clearance styler.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I was just a 17-year-old turned up to the gym. That was it. That's just how it was. And I've been around for so long that my passion for helping people is just pulled out of my childhood, of the childhood that I went through and that I had. And I'd like to be able to use my skills to fight your fears and overcome them. I know how to do that with mental toughness and just how to perform under discipline and drive your way through that. How to control your emotions towards that. I mean, personally, I used pain. That was one of my biggest things that I used. It wasn't so much looking
and that
forward.
Works.
It does
Work.
Everybody has their own thing that they channel for emotional energy towards something. Like for me, it just happened to be pain from getting bullied my entire life. That's just how it was. So I used the pain of getting bullied when I was younger and all throughout school to drive me. I remember one specific time during my clearance styling course, we were getting absolutely flogged, and I just remember in my head, we were on, it's crazy, we were doing thousands of push-ups. It was 3 a.m, we had so many to go. And I just remember, I told myself in my head, these blokes that bullied me at school, they're not going to believe it when they see I'm a clearance diver. And I just pictured every painful thing that ever happened. I used to get pushed into electrical fences and speed up and just all this bad stuff. And I just harness the same feelings that I had back then and just use it there, just on my face doing push-ups or chin-ups or, doing a physical circuit that we were getting punished. I just used the pain and it just
got you through.
Glided me through,
And I love that, Steve, because pain is one of the biggest instigators of change, and people look at it as it's happening to them, but it's actually happening for them, and it can really change your life. And the most painful points in my life have been the biggest impact for me personally. And I would say, when you really want to channel that energy and go further, or you want to get that thermostat higher, I would use that at points. Just to give you that leap that you're looking for, to get you there further and faster. I think because sometimes you have to channel that.
I think definitely it's not you can't do it all the time.
No, but there's times.
But there's definite times, and it's the times where you're in your deepest, darkest, and you're questioning yourself. That personally, whatever's originally driven you to want to be better, be more successful, have a better relationship, whatever it may be, like whatever your problem is, whatever started the fire, if you use the fuel for too long, you'll burn out. But there's just moments where you just need to just turn it on.
Yeah.
And, remember why you started.
It's almost like the F-gas fuel that you need.
Yeah.
That fuel injection that you need.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Steve, mate, I've learned heaps more about you, but also the philosophies you're saying about the Navy and how it all happens there, mate. That's exactly what we do here. But what you've done is you've reinforced that for me again. Like it's more reinforced. But I'm glad to have you on the team.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. It's been.
You've got so many amazing traits and expertise that people need to get in contact with you. They need to get in contact with you. They need to be trained by Steve. Because I want to get trained by Steve.
Yeah.
But don't kill me, man.
No,
don't make me tap out.
Yeah, well, no, like I said, I just I want to be able to help people. It doesn't matter their age, but I'd love to help young guys.
Yeah.
Anywhere between 15 to could be 30. Like I'm nearly 30 now. That they've been bullied or put down. Maybe they're overweight. They've had a rough trot. I just want to be able to. I want to be able to show guys.
You're giving me more ideas.
That went through what I went through. There's so many. It's so common. I'd love to be able to help guys that have struggled mentally or they've been bullied and put down. Show them how to use that emotional pain to fuel them to achieve what I've achieved. I served in the prestigious 2nd Commander Regiment as a clearance diver. I was very lucky to serve in that unit as a diver. And that was that's the pinnacle of my career. It's been the best thing I've ever done working, in that sector. And I just love to be able to help guys use that emotional pain or whatever the scarring is they've been through, show them how to control it and use that pain to achieve whatever they want, where they want to go. Like, it's clear.
Mate, the line has to be deep now after this podcast. It has to be deep. Where can people find you? Like, if people are looking for you and they're looking for someone to help them through life, overcome obstacles, come back from bullying, come back from depression, and just be able to believe that they're worth something, where can they find you?
I've got I've got Facebook, Instagram, obviously emails. Probably the easiest is to either call Titan Fitness, the gym, to get hold of my details. They'll give it out freely.
What's your email? Give us your email.
So my email, if anybody's looking for my email address, it's Stephen.Bodie, so that's STEVEN.BODY @hotmail.com. My Instagram is the same, Stephen.Bodie. And Facebook's the same as well, Stephen Bodie. So.
And then if they want to see you Tuesday and Thursday mornings on the beach at 6 a.m.
Yeah, for the boot camps.
Boot camp here at Coogee Beach.
Come down and enjoy some boot camps in the nice cold winter mornings at the moment, 6 or 7 a.m.
Jules and I are going to come down soon. We're just getting prepared. Just training ourselves mentally.
I think I've scared a few off.
Thanks a lot, Steve. I really appreciate it. I really learned so much about you. But more importantly, I learned so much. And that's what I love about our podcast, because I just learn so much every time I do a podcast, because there's always one or two little things that I go, wow, that's cool. That's cool. Thanks again.
No problem at all. Thanks very much.
Thank you. See you, Facebook Live viewers. Next time we'll have another guest, and we don't know who that is yet, but we'll let you know soon.
Cheers.